Hey everybody, it's Josh from CollectionDX.com here with another review. This time we're taking an advanced look at the 112 Mechatro WeGo from Sentinel and 1000 Toys. A couple things to note before we get into this. First of all, this is a pre-production sample, meaning that it's not ready for prime time yet. There's still some things that need to be tweaked, I'm assuming. And you may notice that this is all white. Well, the reason that this is all white is that they're doing a version that's designed for customization. So they're going to ship an all white version as the base for you to customize. This is that all white version. So normally you would have all kinds of great color on this, but this is just white. So when I mention that's a pre-production sample, you may see parts and pieces falling off. Part of that is like tolerance for paint. You know, that since there's no paint, the fits are a little looser on some of the pieces. It can easily be rectified by putting little pieces of tape inside. And actually when it was shipped to me, you can see I left one of the pieces on, so you could see that there is a little piece of tape kind of holding some of the caps in. So you'll see that around the figure on my sample. I'm assuming by the time that you get it, yours will be all set. So here's a size comparison between the 135 scale and the 112 scale. You can see the 135 is the original. This is the kind of the first mold that came out. This is a different version with a baseball pack, and it's basically like a school kid version with the backpack and everything. But it's essentially the same design visually, but mechanically it's entirely different in that just the big one does so much more. So we'll go into some of the features and I'll show you everything that it does. So the arms retain a full amount of posability, really nicely done. These claws here are die-cast metal, and they open and close. They're painted die-cast, and this actually looks kind of rough paint on the edge here. The things open here, the grippers, and they turn freely. This piece, and this piece are removable, and this whole unit here is also die-cast metal. The joint for this is really nice. Let's get a close-up. I just wanted to show you how nice the joint work is in here. It's very tight. It's designed to come up and around. So there's a ball in here that rotates, and then there's an outward hinge right there. So it really is a beautiful range of motion. Now you can see that this ring just came off. It's nothing really, there's nothing clipping it in here. So you just gotta be aware, and the next time it falls out, I'm just gonna leave it out because it's a pain in the butt. Once again, assuming it'll be repaired on the production version. On the legs here again, we have a nice tight ball joint. It's very, very tight, which is good. It's not overly tight. This whole ring here, this whole piece is die-cast metal. Single knee joint. Oh, we just flicked off a piece. Actually, let's take these off because we'll get to see the mechanism better. So here there's a very nice swivel. This the top part of the foot is die-cast, and there's this kind of, I don't know what the point of that is, maybe for some clearance, but it does that. So there's an interesting engineering going on in the head here. So first you have this part that opens and closes, but you notice there's also a little silver plate here, and if you can sort of get your finger up in there, it pops open. Now that's cool that it pops open, but don't pop it open like that, because then it'll get caught on the lip here and it won't open, and you have to use like a knife or something to push it down. So be aware of that. The old version had a plate that just came off, and then these two doors came off, and you can see the inside. These plates do come off, but there's nothing behind it, so there's really no point. But this, in case it opens up like that, and you see the cockpit inside, you have some nice vents here, some more ventilation here. What's really great is check this action out. So that opens up as a platform, and this thing is a little viewpoint monitor, and the handles move, and that can act as a sort of a stabilizer too if you need to rest it on the ground. Another cool feature in here is the seat. Now this is another piece that's loose, it just comes out, but I'm assuming it'll be a tighter fit later. So the idea is that you have a seat that the pilot can sit on and it will just fold up when not in use. Now the figure is 1/12 scale. 1/12 scale is your typical size for your Figmas, your Marvel Legends, your Revoltex, but those are not going to fit in here. Not by a long shot. The WeGo was designed as a robot for children, so the actual physical characters that you can use to stand here need to be much smaller than your standard 1/6 scale action figure. So what I found here is a 3 3/4 corpse figure, and he seems about perfectly sized. When you're putting the guy in, there's these little grooves here at the bottom. These have to line up with the grooves there. As you can see then, he fits wonderfully in the cockpit. Also, when you close this, there's a little, you see a little notch in the inside there? You just gotta pull down a little bit to make that clearance. And then you're clear. Another gimmick is interchangeable hands, which also have metal in them. They just slide right on. These have a nice grabbers with a little texture in there, so you can, and these are metal, which adds a real nice feeling to them. On the back of the figure there's a little panel that if you remove it, you have a battery compartment, a USB compartment, and a little switch here. I don't have the batteries and I don't have the USB plug. I'm assuming it lights up these tail lights and these headlights, but I have no manual, so I don't know for sure, but that's what I'm going to go with for now. And yes, all the armor parts can come off like before. You have detachable things here, you have detachable, and so on and so forth. These come off, oops, sorry, that comes off. These panels do come off in the front, but you need something to pry them off. And there's nothing really to see under there, so I don't really know if there is any point to taking that off at all. If you're going to customize it, perhaps there's a way to put a cool detail in there that only you as the customizer would see. Right now, in the state that he's in, he's a little loose and unfinished, but it is pre-production. It is a unpainted model, which I believe once the paint is applied, everything will be nice and tight and will look great. Now, because this is designed for customization, it's helpful that all the parts are removable, but it's going to be a lot of work for someone who wants to customize this. I think it'll be very rewarding, but the interior, the disassembly, being able to paint on both metal and plastic parts, masking off the chrome, that's going to be a lot of work for whoever wants to customize it. Like I said, I'm sure once it's customized, it will be amazing. I'm planning on actually sending mine out to someone I know to customize it, and we'll see what those results are when it comes back in another video. But I want to thank 1000 Toys for sending this over. Keep an eye out for these when they're up for pre-order. And hey, if you get one and you customize it, let us see it. I want to see your customized 1/12 Mechatro WeGo, and maybe we'll post it on our channel. This is Josh from CollectionDX. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.